Self-described as theater of the senses, Figures of Speech has entertained audiences from Broadway to Paris to Tokyo, but they find their hometown right here in Freeport, Maine.
Well, we started the company 29 years ago. It was started by my husband, John, and myself, and my background had always been in theater.
Figures of Speech really is my wife's fault. I was going to law school here in Portland, and in the middle of my first civil procedure exam, I quit. And I quit because I wanted to be an artist.
I was in a graduate program at the University of Connecticut where they happened to have the only MFA puppetry program in the country.
Caroll talked me into going to a workshop in mask theater, and we had so much fun in this workshop playing together that we decided to create a show. So the first show we created was a series of 4 African folk tales.
And then we just decided we were going to do this, which was probably a pretty crazy idea, but here we are, still doing it 29 years later. So couldn't have been too bad an idea.
Figures of Speech is a unique approach to theater where actors and puppets share the stage. You may have seen them perform with the Portland Symphony Orchestra, the Freeport Shakespeare Festival, or in a school throughout Maine. The organization was founded by husband and wife duo John and Caroll Farrell. They are joined by other actors and artists inspiring myths, legends, and literature, with puppets, shadows, masks, and movement. Preparing for each show requires a great deal of time, effort, and creativity.
Because we create the work, we're not receiving a script, learning the play, and it's totally developmental. Right now we're trying to wrap our minds around a new piece, and that's been going on for months, just that mental gymnastics. Sometimes we just get an inspiration and a show puts itself together in 3 or 4 months, but sometimes it takes a couple of years.
Most of the magic building happens in this barn, which the Farrells built and designed specifically for Figures of Speech. Caroll has a sewing workshop upstairs, and downstairs John hand carves the faces of the puppets, a skill he heightened through the teachings of a Japanese master named Saito-san.
We were in Japan performing for these tours, and we met this man, and he's one of 2 or 3 people in Japan who know the process of making traditional Japanese puppets from beginning to end. And he saw our work and liked it and invited me to study with him informally. And at the end of the 2nd year, he gave me this and he said, "This is your textbook. Go home with this and use it as a way to understand the kind of things that I've been teaching you." It has been my textbook in many ways. I have brought into our own work a lot of the aesthetic and thinking about beauty, about animation, about the essence of life that inhabits a puppet in performance that comes very directly from my experience in Japan.
Each puppet, from its origination to its final performance, is a complete collaboration between husband and wife.
Sometimes we think that we really would be better off giving courses to people on how to cooperate with your spouse.
It's probably incredible, but we've been doing it for 30 years, and I don't think we're really aware of what a unique situation it is.
No, we do really, really well with it. I mean, sometimes when we're creating an artistic project, we butt heads because we both have very strong artistic visions, but we're very thoughtful toward each other.
We spend 80% of our time, our waking time, in some form of cooperation, whether it's on the company, on a show, on raising children.
We always feel like you've got to really fight for what you want and also be ready to hear what other people have to say, and then it sorts itself out.
So we are joined at the heart, I guess you'd have to say.
Figures of Speech is truly a labor of love and imagination for the Farrells, which they pass on to their audiences.
I hope people go away with an activated sense of their own imaginative power, that they leave recognizing that what draws you to the theater is a world of intense imagination, and that in the work that we create, we are really working on asking people to make a big step into their own imaginations to really become part of the performance.
For more information on Figures of Speech, check out their website. It's figures.org, or there's a link on myfoxmaine.com.